Okay, thanks again for rejoining me on the show, TMI Monday. We're on our countdown to Democracy Day 2018 coming up tomorrow. Of course, some donkey years down the road since 1999 when we commenced our democratic experiment. How's it been? How's the journey been? Talking about political participation, talking about the institutions of government, of governance, and then of course the actors on the stage, and then look at the political parties and other stakeholders. To what extent have we been able to nurture our democratic practice to the point that we can look back and say, well, the journey has been rosy. Well, for every good thing, it normally doesn't come easy. There's always a price to pay. I'm being joined now by Bishop Austin Igbasan. Bishop Fred Agedo will be here shortly. Bishop, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, sir.
So how's the journey been, really?
The journey to democracy has been of ups and downs. And for us to get to where we are now, the journey from military dictatorship to democratically elected government has not been easy. And up till now, we still see the trait. It's like when the Bible says they left Egypt, but the reproach of Egypt is still very much around with the people who are no more in Egypt, but yet they still go with the reproach of Egypt. To the extent that you see that we are still being military in our mindset, even under democratic setting, we are still militant in our mindset, militant in our approach, militant in policies, militant in democratic norms, where you see that up till now we have not respected the issue of separation of power, where every person who are the actors in the legislature, executive, and judiciary, everybody is able to maintain their lane and harmonize and have a meeting point where we have a better democracy. But I felt that, like they said, the worst democratic government is better than the best military government. And that is the saying. But up to now, we see that the journey has not been rosy because the actors who are fully in participation, if you look at the starting point of this particular democratic section, you see that many people didn't believe that the military are going to hand over power. So the genuine people who will have really helped the masses, many of them stayed back because, number one, they don't have what it takes. And the little they have, they were not able to take the risk of just wasting it and only to be told that we have carried it over to another date. So that was the first mistake that happened, because the real people who were supposed to have been actors, they stayed back because they were not really convinced that the power is going to be handed over to the civilian. And those who were able to take the risk, who have some kind of money they can throw around, and they can take the risk, all of them enter the ring. But the real people who felt, I have little money, but though I have so much to offer the nation, I cannot, these military guys cannot be trusted. Okay. So they stayed back. And you now have the people, so to say, who are strong-hearted. They came into the ring that, okay, we can throw away money. If they didn't hand over, we still have something to fall back to. And that was the beginning. In 1999, you see that most people that came on board were people who really don't have the people at heart.
Are you saying those on the, those who are the main actors now, they are the fake people? Because you keep saying the real people, the real people didn't come out.
Yeah, they didn't come out. You see, the issue is that when democratic government talks about the government of the people, now that shows that the government is not about the people who are in leadership. It's about the people to be governed. That is the sayings of the people. If you look at when Jesus was to be crucified, the man who was sitting to give the judgment knew what was right, that Jesus was, there was no offense. But because it was democratic government, that the man said, what have you seen in these people? And they said, crucify him, crucify him. Even when there are no evidences around him, that is democratic government. The man listened to the voice of the people, not the voice of reason, because to him, no evidence, Jesus was not a security breach, he didn't commit any crime, but because it was a democratic government, that the voice of the people matter. But what we see today in our democracy is that the voice of the people does not matter. Somebody was speaking with me recently, and he said, he said either you vote or they don't vote. He said it doesn't matter. Now that shows that the power is not really with the people. In America, when somebody says, I will use my voter's card, you see, even the politicians themselves respect the people because they know the power is really with the people. But in our climb, it is not like that. The people in leadership felt that it is a privilege. You see somebody say, but I pay salary. So he's appreciating himself for paying salary, that the money that is used to pay salary is not his own money. He said, I tarred the road. You clap for me for the road now. Are you the owner of the money that was used to tar the road? Even though if the road is not good. But because we believe that the power is not with the people. If really the power is with the people, there are roads today that were constructed, and when little rain falls, you see water gathered there. The people will have been able to go and get hold of the government who awarded the road and get hold of the contractor. But because the power is not really with the people, that is why you see government come up with policies. They don't consider the people. They say, that is what we want to do, and it will go like that. Because really the true people who are the representation of the people are not there. Now look at some of the people in the houses of assembly. A lot of people did not have an office in their constituency. A lot of people have offices that is covered with cobwebs and all the rest. They just put somebody there who open once in a while. And when the man is coming, he comes with sari. Why? Because he does not have, there is no alignment with the people. That in the real sense, everything a man that comes from, that is representing his people in the house of assembly, must be the voice of his people, not somebody sitting down and said, this is what I want to do.
All right, thank you, Bishop Austin Igbasa. Many thanks for coming on the show. Well, we have Bishop Fred, again, though we've been expecting him, is very much here now. Bishop, thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you very much.
Okay, this has always been something you're passionate about, politics, getting it right with leadership structures, the leadership, so they can be able to take care of the people by way of policies and programs. Democracy down the road, for some, has been rosy, some has not been rosy. Let's begin from the political parties with you. How would you want to rate the performance of political parties in a democratic practice so far?
I want to make it, first of all, very clear that I'm not a partisan politician.
That's well established.
Good.
Well established.
And as a church founder and as a stakeholder in our nation, I want to declare one word, that the most wicked people on earth are not people that commit crime. They are people who see the truth and turn it upside down. I just heard my brother talking. Pilate said, what is wrong with this man? He said to me, I didn't say anything. He took a bucket of water and washed his hand. And the Bible says, no matter how you wash your hands are not clean, you are a part of it. Well, that was to fulfill all righteousness. That Christ came, born to die, that I and you might be free. But when it comes to issue of government, I don't know why people pretend, even after knowing the truth, and they continue to tell lies. And one of it is this, that we know nothing is working, and yet we clap for it. I would not like to mention it, but I also know why I think Sonny Duke Okosun, you need an award from my church is you are one of the reportage, you are one of the journalists who remember events, who keeps records of things.
Thank you, sir. That
calling me on this platform, always talking about democracy in Nigeria, you started this since 1999. And I have been an apostle and a crusader of telling Christians, get involved in government. If not, one day, a president or a state governor will come up and say on Sunday it's environmental, nobody move. 6 o'clock till 12 o'clock. Church will not hold because you must listen to them. And why I begin to say this, people thought I was talking about elective position for church founders. An assistant pastor can hold a position. I only exclude church founders because we should play the role of a father. And in our churches, we have different political party members there. So we cannot really be partisan and take side with one political party. And I went over to begin to sing a slogan in 2007, let the righteous rule. Let the righteous rule. Well, it was within the state. People call me politician. But today, I'm sure we are smelling it together. And everybody are passing through what we never expected. And I will go further to say, the democracy of a thing. You remember there was a definition I gave to it here. I don't know what fella believe in. But I respect that man because the day he died, I saw eclipse in the sky. Which means he was also a messenger to what he believed in. I call it demon of grace. When you are outside the bus, you see what is happening. But when you are inside, that demon will enter them. When they have not arrived there, they will tell us that they can put their condition in our street. But when they get there, they discover that the game is another thing. I said that in this platform. That the only person that can deliver them is me. I don't know whether Bishop Igbaza will join me. So that they come, we lay hands on them and cast out their demon on them of selfishness, corruption, and wickedness of the highest order. Of the highest order. So, to me, democracy has not really worked in Nigeria. But it's working in some other countries in Africa, but not in Nigeria.
Why has it not worked in Nigeria? Let's begin with how political parties are fared.
Good.
Yeah.
If we talk of why is it not working in Nigeria, let us not put political party names attached to this.
No, of course, no names. Just generally speaking.
Because
political
the people who have been playing this politics worked with our colonial masters. And they know what it is. You know, whatever you think is happening now is what the colonial master taught them. If Benin was invaded, and a lot of things were taken out of Benin Kingdom, until today it has not been returned, then who is that British man that will be telling you what is happening? And you want to believe them? And you want to listen to them? Is that not stealing of the highest order? Yeah. That is one. Two, when you are talking of corruption, was it not in this kingdom a traditional ruler was sold as a slave? If not for God helping us? Could there be anything more than that? Let's get out of that. So many things you are thinking of. The money they are stealing. They are saying Nigerians are fantastic thieves or corrupt. Whatever name they call it. Where do they keep the money? Have they ever refused us? Who taught us? Who colonized us? So when we go back to history, you will discover that democracy has not yet come to stay in Nigeria. And I want to say, because a few days ago, was it not yesterday or last Sunday, I talked about I see a lot of trouble coming. A lot of trouble coming. That the people who are ruling us now, there are bloodstains in their hand. If there was anything David desired in the Bible to do for God was to build for God. And God said no. And David said, why? God said, because there is blood stain in your hand. And the people ruling us till today that we are calling democracy, they are all men and women with blood stain in their hand.
We can't independently verify
we
that.
We can do that.
Bishop
for a military ruler to still think
Bishop Bagade, on this program right now, we can't verify that. There is no way we can provide evidence on that. So on the basis of that, let me just post it. I'll come back to you in a moment.
Okay, thank you.
Bishop Austin Igbasan, yeah, let's look at key components of democracy. Some say for us to have a thoroughbred democracy, we have to get it right with the political parties. I'd like to get your comments along this line.
Now, the political party is like the vehicle of democracy. And for the country to move from where it is to its destination, there's a need for a vehicle to convey, to move the nation from where it is to where it ought to be. So we cannot, democracy cannot thrive without political party. And political parties are supposed to be built on ideology. I was talking to some persons in church yesterday, and I was sharing it, and I told them, I said, somebody is in a party. The person has been elected in the party, benefited from the party, but for one reason or the other, the party lost an election. And the midnight of on the midnight of that loss of election, you see the man who is a politician said, oh, I'm now a prodigal son, I have to go back to another party. Now he moves to another party. Now, and I told the church, I said, that man, if tomorrow his own son get married and has a challenge in marriage, and the guy decided to say, I'm not going to marry this girl, I will marry another person. The man will not say, my son, no, marriage is not like that, you have to stay inside. The boy will ask the father, say, but the other time you are a member of a party, and when they lost, you shift over overnight to another one, like changeover switch. A political party to us in Nigeria is a changeover switch. Yes. Never take light, you go to generator. So it is not about service to the people. It's not built on ideology. And I said, there is no, you see, my pain is that even the elderly people are not ashamed. They don't even look at what their children will say about staying put. If it is built on ideology, you know, somebody said, I'm in a social church, I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to, so I left there because of one thing or the other. If the person wants to be a disciple, the person will stay put. Even when you feel you are not fairly treated. Political party must be built on ideology. And my kind of idea of political party is that it is a party that must have a connection with the roots. Any party where people does not matter, that it is only the players that matter, is not a party of ideology. That is why you see people say, somebody will say, okay, I'm a prodigal, so I've returned to my father's house now. Oh, the other one say, our democracy is like manual gear. You go to gear 1, gear 2, gear 3 until we get it right. Then we now enter auto. You see people bring all kinds of analogy to analyze their action. But in the real sense, our political party in Nigeria lack ideas. And that is why you see that somebody will campaign with something and we say, this is our idea, this is what we want to do for Nigerians. And as soon as they get there, that same particular statement that is mentioned, you will now begin to twist them to come back to that statement. In this country, we knew some parties who championed restructuring from 1999. And eventually, when people, especially people from Southwest, who are die disciple of restructure, but when they have the opportunity to be in the front page, they fight against it. And these are the people that were fighting and championing this thing for years. Now, if it is based on idea, our political parties are not based on idea. That's why I'm of the opinion that in Nigeria, the kind of political party that former head of state introduced, Ibrahim Babangida, will have been the best for us to run two political parties. Not to have a mushroom party, I better pass my neighbor party, this one party that are not even low, because the confusion is going to be too much in our ballot paper. Now a lot of people are going to mistakenly thumbprint, and their vote will not count, because in the process of thumbprinting, when logos look alike, it's going to be affecting us. So we're supposed to have like two political parties and built on ideology, where we'll be able to say, Mr. F, you cannot leave your party. You see people in National Assembly, House of Assembly, cross-carpeting from one party to another. For one reason or the other, they will look for one thing or the other. Some people want to leave a particular party. They will give money to some person to cause some problem and go to court, so that there will be a standpoint for them to say, our party is divided. That is why we are cross-carpeting. It is not about. Look at Lagos State, for example. Some persons were voted into power from the minority party in Lagos State. And they say our governor is doing well. That is why we have to go to his party. Do you need to change from your party to that party? If the governor is doing well, thank God. You are not there to oppose the governor. You are there to make sure that you put the man on his toe. The purpose of opposition is not to castigate, but to be able to withhold, but to put the government on his toe. A government can be doing well and maybe mismanaging fund. Yeah. Somebody can tar road and do some claim and put electricity in the place, but do you know how much the cost of what now what about borrowing, and nobody is challenging anybody? We have an experience in Edo State here where money was borrowed within how many hours? Where the governor was living. How many hours before the federal government and National Assembly gave approval of such? But if we in a democracy have opposition, it is not. Look at Nasarawa yesterday. The local government swept. Ekiti swept. Delta State swept. I can mention like that winner takes it all. Is that democracy? That is not democracy. It's an autocratic something. Because in the local government, if a governor is not afraid, if he has a sound integrity, you don't need to sweep all the local government. It's a matter of you even want to have like 5 chairmen of local government who are not your own. Okay. You want them to be there so that you can be able to market your party. Then people will blend between what is happening in one local government A to local government B and say, look at social party, look at the allocation they are taking, and look at what the man is doing, look at the other party in social local government. People will now have their choice, but because the people did not matter, they don't matter to politicians. That is why you see somebody wake up one time and say, their vote is not needed. You put your junior brother or somebody close to you to be the INEC state chairman and let them write whatever they want to write, because the people really don't matter.
All right, Bishop Akedo, you want to build on that, on the issue of political parties?
Yes. I think too many political parties is one of the major problems. And this cross-carpeting is another thing. I totally agree with Bishop that there is no much to add to what he has said. He's talking from our point of view, godly point of view. It's a clergy, and within ourselves we are beginning to see what we have done wrong. And I think it's an error for us to begin to build on our past and dwell on our past and not moving forward. The greatest problem is the politicians who are living fencing. You know, you grow to meet a medicine called fencing to APC, APC to codeine, codeine to tramadol. They are all names. They may be doing the same thing. And tomorrow, in fact, they are not ashamed, which means they are not men of integrity. Integrity matters when you want to represent the people you believe in, when you want to represent your people. The reason why some of us who wear gown, who call ourselves bishop, why we are not running after women is just because we are afraid that we will not soil the name of Jesus Christ we represent. If not, we are still human. So are politicians ashamed? Do they see what they are doing as a problem? Do they even foresee the calamity that is coming? My dear, if we must talk of political party or whatever, I'm here to advocate. Let these people who have ruled for more than 30, 50 years leave the stage, and let youth, young people who have an idea, well qualified, take up the governance of our nation. That is where ideology will really come to play.
Okay. All right, Bishop Igbasa, there's a saying that a people get the kind of leadership it deserves, which means the leaders that you see today is a reflection of the quality of the people that we have in Nigeria.
No.
Does that make any sense? Okay. Yes.
So what I want to say is that what you see in Nigeria is not a reflection of the true picture of Nigerians. Because recently our president made a statement of his youth, and the woman that was there, Theresa May, knew that even in that UK, that most revenue that UK live on, it is Nigerian youth that are making it. Because UK youth will go to Spain when there is winter, they can't stand it. Go to Birmingham, look at how much government is spending on youth here, on foster parents, or foster children, and all the rest. But when there is cold,
the Nigerian youth
come out. They wear a jacket. They are working. They are the one that generate revenue there. The woman knew that these youth are calling that they are dozai. They are not dozai here. They work. You see, I just came from UK last week. There are youth that work 3 times. That they sleep. They only sleep for 3 hours. They are Nigerian youth. As they are leaving one work, they are going to another work. Even Nigerian youth that are studying in UK, they are leaving their school to go and work elsewhere. They work where you have to touch something with your hand. You touch something with your hand. You can't sleep. Because they put a system there where you, every 1 hour you touch something. So if you don't touch it, which means you have slept off. So eventually, the youth, the kind of leadership we have now is not a reflection of the true Nigeria. I give you an example. NAFDAC have been there for years. Late Professor Dora Akuyili was made to head NAFDAC. And the woman took the NAFDAC to El Dorado. But today there is silence in NAFDAC. Is it because the woman, where was the woman? The woman was a Nigerian. And she has been here. She has been around. A lot of people were brought into leadership. So they perform. There are a lot of good people in this country, but they don't have opportunity to be in leadership. Number two, they don't have money. And they don't have the godfather. Because even in politics now, we need people in this state who say war against godfather. But today they have become godfather. The godfather isn't they fought against. Today they have become godfather. Because it's a matter of pig. Pig was growing. He asked the mama, say, what you do your nose? The mama said, he said, mama, you go accident.
You will get to that point.
He said, my son, not be today. The question is today. The answer is tomorrow. And after some time, now mama call us and say, my son, who beat you for outside? Where you do your nose?
Why did your nose?
Why did your nose? Mama, I just see and they grow like that. Then the mama can say, now DNA of our family. Now they make our nose long. The person who said he's fighting godfather today is a godfather. Now that is, and so many people felt, oh, we're going to cause a change by getting some people from somewhere to be in position. And at the end of the day, when they get there, it becomes something else. And when my brother said, demon of grace, there is no lie about it. That when people get there, they get to state house and their state of heart change. They forgot, even when you pick somebody in the street, say, come and do this one. You see him getting there telling lies. Recently, I was talking to some information managers who, because you behave like your boss, if I call somebody my PA in the church now, and I'm very arrogant, the person will be arrogant. Even when he's going to talk to church member, he's going to take them for granted because he is already flowing in the DNA that I carry. If you see a president that is calm, that you can curse him, you can say all kinds of things about him, nobody will arrest you, nobody will take you to police station, it's because that leader is calm. But when you see a leader that is not calm, that cannot take criticism, so when you criticize him, they say, oh, this person that is talking is an opposition party. They don't see you that you are talking from the point of view of morality.
And that is exactly where Nigeria is now, where two elephants are about to fight. Who is going to suffer it?
Okay, let me just come to you. Bishop, thank you.
Yes.
When I said that a society gets the kind of leadership that it deserves, you were against that.
Yes.
So what was the point you wanted to raise with that?
The point is, sometimes there is an adage in my place that says you could have a child as a human being, you don't know the state of his or her mind.
Okay.
So today we are deceived. We were deceived. And they are still ready to deceive us. The only thing that can put an end to it, let's look at age. It's not the way children think. Bible says, parents, provoke not your children
Unto wrath.
Unto wrath. Because when you allow them to grow annoyed, they spoil things. And he also tell the children, respect your parents. Not just your parents in the Lord, the one that fear God. Therefore, our state is almost going to a state of anarchy if care is not taken. The people that are there are not representing us, and that was not the reason why we sent them there. We heard about change, and any man that hears about change is always happy. But change could be negative or positive. Now we are seeing what we are seeing from the negative aspect of it. I'll tell you the truth. People that were in my church yesterday were not up to 100. I took telephone to call some of them. That day I have no money to enter motor. And I remember what Maruduko said those days, that until he see Nigeria eating on dustbin, and Nigeria not feeding on dustbin right now, they are. Is it the kind of government we prayed for? I fasted for. Archbishop Benson Idahosa went around the whole of this nation and the whole planet Earth to talk about Nigeria. I'm proud of Nigeria. So as a Christian leader, let's really, you know the new name for Puletina is now Nigeria must go. No longer Ghana must go. In Libya, that's what they call it. In Ghana, that's what they call it. Is it the Nigeria of our dream? Is it the Nigeria of 70s I met, when Naira could buy anything all over the world? Is it what I voted for? Will my grandchildren have future in this? The answer is no. And we all know it.
Is it that faithlessness, Bishop Agedu?
Let's take faith out of this, because the Bible says faith without action is dead. Let's take faith, godly faith, let's take it out of this. And that is why myself and my beloved brother, we are here talking to our people. We are talking like prophets. So faith does not come in there. And prophet sometimes break the protocols of faith. And we are here to warn, and we are here telling people, we are not here now to say, come and vote for SDP, APC, FENSIC, NAFDAC, EBS, or ITV. Is that what we are saying? No! We are telling our leader, have a change of heart. Because heaven is reacting. And the sky is dark. And the rain will fall very soon.
Okay. If you just join us, of course, our discussion is on Nigeria's democratic practice, the challenges and the prospects. This is in lieu of Democracy Day tomorrow. I mean, we've been on this journey for a while. For some, it's been good, not so good. Some, it's been bad, not so bad. But I think from where we borrowed democratic practice from, yeah, the challenges are there. But it's always about the people. In other words, the essence of leadership is about the people. Let's quickly talk about the another critical aspect of our democratic practice, which is the role of opposition. Yeah, the role of opposition in ensuring that democracy stands. Where are we in your assessment of the role of opposition?
Number one, I think opposition from 1999 have been trying to struggle and bring their voice up. And we are not yet there, because for now, opposition must know their role, that their role is they are like a watchdog. And when an opposition criticizes a policy of a sitting government, the opposition must also bring forth a suggestion or a way out of it. That is, we are saying this government didn't do it right. This is what exactly we're supposed to do. And I want to say, between the period of late Yaradua with the end of Jonathan government, the opposition were able to thrive because the mindset of those kind of leaders were, we are not God. We can be criticized. We can do something wrong. We can be called to order. And I'm sure that when the fuel was to be taken to 100 naira for 7 days, Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and some other persons were able to galvanize the civil society organization, and they brought people on board to say, no, you can't take this price to this amount. And because of that, the government listened to voice of reason, and they were able to revert the price of the petrol to the normal price that the masses advocated for. So I think within that time, the opposition were given chance. Even the formation of this particular party that is at the center for now was as a result of opposition being given a voice. I know a lot of pressure on the sitting president there, that the coalition and everything, they should work against it. But because of the mindset, like you said, that leaders, people get leaders of their choice. And of course, because of the leadership, not that Jonathan was not under pressure to make sure that, oppositions are perforated. A lot of people felt that, you must not allow opposition to thrive. And I always refer to it that people call him all kinds of names. Kindergarten, I know people call it kindergarten. I know people who are in power today call him learner. Some people call him fool. Somebody that have PhD. Some people that doesn't have certificate even call him all kinds of names. And yet, the man allow it to thrive. Now, he has power to speak to INEC. Jonathan has power to give somebody, to give an Ijoman the position of INEC chairman, which we are seeing today in our country, where the president and the INEC chairman is from one particular region of the country. which is against the constitution, so that there will not be sentiment. That is why it has been there since time immemorial.
Well, the president met the man in the Home of Affairs before he came on board. Yeah.
No, what I mean is that this man, the new INEC chairman, he was appointed by Mr. President. Jega was the one that bowed out.
Yeah.
And this man was appointed. In the history of INEC, go and check it. Even in the time of Edeco, the INEC chairman does not come from the same region with the head of state come from, but the sitting president, because it's the act that established it forbids it, because so that there will not be sentiment, so that it won't go to one side. In the time of late Justice Efre Bakpata, from there to Dr. Ebe Gubadia, from there to Professor Maurice Iwu, from there to Jega, Jonathan was under pressure to put somebody from his place, but he decided to appoint Jega that they have never met by somebody's recommendation. They have never met. And today we have the sitting president from the same place with INEC chairman. And you look at what INEC is doing now. INEC are telling us that in the whole of Kano, there is only 200,000 PVC that have not been collected. But in Lagos, almost 2 million PVC have not been collected. What are they trying to tell you? They are already gradually trying to tell you that by the time the result will come out, you will not be able to talk about
in the northeast, millions of people are dying, but they are still saying no PVC. They are collecting PVC.
I was opportune to meet with the INEC chairman, former INEC chairman, the other time, and I told him, I said, you are doing an excellent work, because even those who died in Boko Haram, they all wake up to collect their PVC. And they came, and all of them collected their PVC to vote. But look at it now. You look at between these 3 years down the line, you will see that it has been problem for opposition. And it was that same problem. Thank God for the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who we fought here from this station while acting president was there, and we said it in this same platform. When I said in the next 2 days, the tenure of that man will expire, that we want Professor Yemi Oshibanjo as a teacher, as an erudite scholar, as an administrator, senior advocate of Nigeria, and a professor of law, and also a sitting acting president. That if in 48 hours he does not give that man the position, knowing fully well that his boss broke the law of the land by calling that man acting, if he didn't do what is right, that if all the students of law in Africa, we put him in their archive and do a case study on him, and we thank God that it was done. At the end of the day, when the man came into power, the first judgment he gave was the judgment of PDP. And the man spoke to Justice Okoabang, and he scolded him that you are a reproach to judiciary. Why will you give frivolous injunctions here and there? And the opposition woke up. And if you look at it from that time till now, the government have been very uncomfortable. But I said it everywhere, because I'm a Jesus-tician, I'm not a politician. And I say that the sitting government acted like opposition. Up to today, they are still acting like opposition. Transparency International says something, they are opposing them. But during the time they were championing to be in power, anything any foreign organization said, they clap for it. IMF says something, they counter it. And these are international organizations that have clear record and they have integrity. But you see a sitting government countering them, countering those organizations, say they are frustrating this, they are frustrating that. Now I feel that the role of opposition in the last 3 years have been perforated. And of course, you see today that even as we are talking in your studio now, you are being censored on what you can say. Hate speeches is now a criminal offense.
It's a crime.
It's a crime. But when people were campaigning that time, they called somebody teddy bear, learner, fufu, kindergarten. It was not a hate speech. It's an appreciation speech.
Yes.
If they are clapping for a sitting president. Today, if you counter what the government...
Even the wife of the sitting president was used as a joke by the... What do you call them? Okay. So, to crack jokes. Yes. Can you try it now? So, opposition... The woman said there is God, though. They use it to print a handbill. Everywhere they do handset. They printed the laminated T-shirt for it. But today, can you do that one? Can you try it?
And that company that do it, it will be closed down.
Totally.
Look at it. Somebody was talking yesterday from Nigeria. We knew a journalist that was arrested by DSS and was kept there because the man analyzed how Boko Haram, how Chibok girl was swapped. The deal, the level of secrecy that we have seen. When we're campaigning, one of the things they campaign is medical tourism. But today, the man who campaigns medical tourism is the one who goes to the to check his nose, check his leg, check his ear. Nobody can check it in UBTH.
Anybody can fall sick.
It's not sickness I'm talking about. I'm talking about
the same thing.
4 billion was
anybody can fall sick.
I'm not talking of sickness. I'm talking about what you do about the sickness. I'm not talking about sickness. There's nobody on earth that does not have a particular sickness. I'm talking about what you do about that sickness. You know, those states, former Governor Mimiko has a fantastic hospital there that people come from all over the world to come to that hospital.
Bishop, let me give you an information.
Okay.
That there is a 7. Let me not go too deep so that it will not be too obvious to you. Somebody in place of authority today, the medicine he eats a day, 1 tablet costs 2 million, and he takes 2 every day. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening.
Of course, he has the money to take care of himself.
Which money? Nigeria money.
He has the money to take care of himself.
As a governor, as a president.
You're not a medical doctor, Bishop Fred Aged. I almost said Dr. Fred Aged, but I know you're not a medical doctor.
Even if I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a doctor.
But let's look at something.
Yes.
Let's look at something, which is it has to do with Democracy Day tomorrow, talking about Nigeria's experience. We've talked about opposition, its role, the role it's supposed to play.
Yeah.
And Bishop spoke eloquently about that the role of opposition is almost being eroded because of maybe the possession of the government in power.
Yes.
But this has been part of our history. I remember during the time of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, this was the same way he was being accused of using EFCC to pursue his enemies, ICPC to pursue his enemies. Isn't this, I mean, it's as though it's now a common practice that
when you
a
get
sitting government uses
that.
Yes. Is this something that is restricted to this administration? Hasn't always been there with past administrations?
Well, it has
even
been,
under Jonathan, such accusations also came out too.
It has been there, but under Jonathan, it was not really so. I'm not defending.
Really so would mean that it was so, but was not really so.
Well, not just
but
like
it was
this.
So. It was so.
You know, if a man around town said, if you want to know that police is your friend, let a soldier man give you slap. You will see the difference between soldier and police. So what am I trying to say? When we are talking about education, our leaders should be well educated. You see, a man that is not well educated will not act the way an educated person will behave. So in the time of 5 or 6 years Jonathan was there, or Yar'Adua was there, we saw a little decorum. We saw a little respect to the offices they were holding. But right now what we are seeing is always accusation. In fact, I want to say this. I want the viewer to take it in good faith, that men who are always fought founder never get to their destination. They have somewhere they are going, but they are not shifting blames to another person because they find fault there. How long do we remain in finding fault? If you want to dwell about the future, forget the past. Don't let your past determine your future. Improve on what you have met. Deal with it the way it is. Change it and let us see. And let the world and let the people you are serving judge. Not you saying, I have done well. We are going to hear about the scorecard of these 3 years plus by tomorrow. Is it going to say in this area I have done bad? I heard yesterday somebody say megawatt of electricity is about 7 point something. That Nigeria is better now. I don't think I have had our light over 2 weeks at Ikobayi. We are very close to the new district they say they open. I'm from Eyan. We've not got light. So, what scorecard do we want to hear? It's not going to mark fail or bad or whatever they have done. And a man who said in this area I have not done well, in this area I have not done, you know it's ready for a change. Instead, we are hearing about arrest, persecution, or judgment in their favor. Every election done, they won, this one, and they are giving credit to themselves. Well, I just pray that the vision I have seen will not happen. If it happens, myself and yourself will not. Well, sometimes you see people who advocate war only see how it starts. They don't see how it ends. And I pray that will not be our portion.
Amen. All right, Bishop Gbasa, just to wrap up the discussion, because we are heralding Nigeria's Democracy Day celebration tomorrow. What are your expectations in terms of changing the narratives, changing the status quo about the democratic practice in Nigeria?
I have expectation, but it's not only about expectation. It's about if your expectation will come to pass. That is it. Number one is that when this government came on board, one of the first things they did was that Mr. President destroyed that method of saying 100 days in office. And you see that 100 days in office, I believe that as a politician, it is not everything your opposition or people who are not of the same party does that is bad. There are things you see that are good, that you just pick from there and you continue
build on
it.
it.
Like we are talking of ATM card, it came in the days of Jonathan. BVN, it was in the time of Jonathan. TSA is in the time of Jonathan. But this government today, card reader came in the time of Jonathan. Yaradua said the election that produced me is not credible.
He said it himself.
The man said it himself. That shows you the level of humility and sincerity of a man who sits. Not a man said everything that produced me, his integrity is clean and pure. And the man started with electoral reform and brought people like a former Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Ways, and they sat down. And the man don't only say they should sit down. He started implementing what was written. Not somebody that will say, oh, what was written because it was not written, it was written by people I don't like their face. Let's keep it in the library. Now, there are things that even, do you know, sir, a crazy can say something and you can learn from it. I wrote one of my book from a madman. A madman says something. I parked somewhere waiting for my wife in the market. And a madman was talking, and he said something, and it became a topic I used to write one of my books. The book is one of my bestsellers. But did I give the credit to the crazy man? But it was from the mouth of the madman, because a madman does not run mad all throughout the month.
No.
So if we are not humble enough to accept our fault, I expected tomorrow that the government will be able to announce that in so area we have failed. IMF said it about 4 days ago, that the level of borrowing of this government, that we are getting to a place where we will not be able to sustain how to service it. But immediately they counter it. Even experts today said, you say you have raised the foreign reserve to 40 billion from 20 billion that Jonathan left. Now, when you raise 40 billion, and here and there, you are borrowing up and down.
Why?
Now, I see that if we are recovering money from corrupted people, amen. Praise the Lord. We appreciate it. Let the money be, let us be transparent with that money. Mr. A return so amount, Mr. F return so amount, and this bulk of money. Let us stop borrowing. If we are recovering money and we are talking of trillions and trillions and we are still talking of borrowing, is it a cost?
Ibasa.
If we are bringing money back, people are returning money. We are collecting houses
of 24 billion according to their estimate. Is it building of that now? Was that what made them to walk to where they were?
So what I feel is that this
you are feeding children in school while their parents are dying at home. Yeah. After school, what happened at home?
Let me just round up with Bishop.
So what I feel that the government of the day must be humble enough to apologize to Nigeria in the area they have failed.
Okay, that's your expectation for tomorrow.
Yes, they should be able to say this. Let them start with the area they failed before they talk about where they have achieved something. Because tomorrow, if they start by talking of achievement, the mites of Nigeria are already, they are not happy. People are not happy.
All right, Bishop Agedo. Yeah.
Before you start feeding children in 24 states, according to what I heard, let their parents be alive. Because after school, they will go home. Many pensioners are dying. Many are receiving half salary. And many are not even working. And there are parents who are riding Okada. And they were graduates. And today there is no job. As at the time this government come to power, I'm not sure the high rate of unemployment was as much as this.
10 million as at yesterday. The level
I don't think so.
10 million as at yesterday.
So, and when they want to recruit police now, they say they are looking for 6,000 out of 180 million Nigeria. So I don't think they are really helping the people. Nobody will be happy. If tomorrow, like my bishop have said, oh, we have failed in this area, we want to adjust in this area, we want to do this, that's what we expect to hear. When you are telling us you have succeeded, apart from Godwin Onoghase Obaseki of Edo State, I said that yesterday in my church, that only that lucky way he has done, I will support him for that.
All right, thank you.
Outside that one.
Thank you, Bishop Fred Agado, Bishop Austin Igbasan. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, sir.
It's still TMI, beautiful Monday morning. I want to thank you for staying with us on the program. We'll take a break now, and we'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.